What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Or welcome if it's your first time here. You know, it should be obvious by now what the plan is, how the globalists plan on taking over the world and taking everything we own, taking all our freedoms, taking our property, and that is through a climate emergency. You can tell what they have planned by listening to the mainstream media, because they will start building this up over and over and over again and building that narrative up and talking about that to get people ready for what they know is already coming. And we've been hearing a lot of talk about, climate change, global melting, global warming, and everything that happens, they blame it on climate change. Any type of natural disaster is climate change. Go outside in the summertime and it's warm, it's climate change, it's man-made climate change. They say we need to completely rid ourselves and stop using any type of fossil fuels like natural gas, oil, coal, shut down everything. And in fact, if you look at what Joe Biden is trying to do right now, he's trying to ban pretty much everything. Gas stoves and things like that. Pretty much everything's used in our home, everything we use to get to work or whatever, he wants to ban that. They want to ban farming.
John Kerry has a new climate target: farmers. Ashley, I know all about this story, but why don't you explain it to our viewers?
I'll try. Our fearless climate czar, who jets around the world, by the way, in his private aircraft, taking aim now at farmers because they're polluting the environment, he says. Mr. Kerry claims agriculture production creates 33% of the world's total greenhouse gas emissions, and the fight against climate change cannot be tackled without addressing what the farmers are doing. In fact, Kerry is refusing to call it climate change anymore. He says it's climate crisis. And Kerry says emissions from the food system alone are projected to cause another 0.5 degree of warming by the year 2050. The former Secretary of State says lives depend on world leaders and scientists developing the tools necessary to lower agriculture emissions. It's all about the cows.
Pretty much, because they're setting the standards so extreme that no one can reach those standards. So they're going to shut down food production. They will shut down farming. That's a big deal. John Kerry said that farming contributed to, I think it was 30% of greenhouse gases, and we have to get farming under control to stop climate change and global meltdown we're supposed to have, according to the science. Believe the science. And COVID was a test run for this. I think they want to see how far they could get, what they could do, what people will comply with, and kind of work out the kinks, in my opinion. But this climate lockdowns that are coming, this climate emergency, is going to give them full dictatorial powers over the people in their nation. It's going to be just like COVID. You had here in the United States, you had every country in the world pretty much put in COVID protocols and took emergency powers. And this climate emergency is going to be never ending. They kept the COVID going for as long as they possibly could because they want to hold that power for as long as they possibly could. And the COVID was a virus and it had to end. People would see that it was ended, and it finally had to end. They couldn't keep up this rate any longer. However, this climate emergency, these climate lockdowns will never end. It's going to be permanent. It's going to give our leaders full, total, dictatorial powers over every aspect of our lives. And we see now, they're building that hype up, they're building that fear up as much as they possibly can, because they know what the plan is. And in fact, the news media, which is controlled by the federal government, the CIA, the military industrial complex, they were told to shift their focus from COVID to this man-made climate disaster that they keep telling us they're going to have. And they're going to, I'm not sure exactly when they're going to declare this global climate emergency, but it's coming. And these lockdowns and things like that's going to be permanent. You may get it out of your home 2 hours a day. You have to be by yourself. You can't get you just won't be able to get, over like 5 miles from your home, go shopping, get right back if you got anything to shop for, which they won't be after a while. And everything shuts down and everyone is locked down. Production stops. And people will say they won't do that. They don't care. They want people dead. They want me dead. They want you dead. It's obvious. If you look at any of their literature, they want to lower the world's population down by 90%. And they don't care, about your life. They don't care about my life. They want us all dead. And they're going to use this climate emergency to do that and to enslave everyone else. And that is the plan. They want to ban everything that we use on a daily basis for comfort, to keep us alive, to keep us happy, to feed us, to keep us sustained. They want it all gone in the name of fighting climate change. You got to trust the science. If we don't do this, we're all going to die. In 10 years, we're going to all melt down. And we've heard this for decades now. But right now, it's the plan to bring in this global dictatorship. It's obvious. It really is completely obvious what they have planned. No doubt about it. We hear the media hype this up, and they will get as many people as they can to believe the narrative like they did with COVID, and to volunteer and to do things and actually try to force everyone else to comply. Because if you're not complying with all the agenda, these climate lunatics that are watching the media all the time and hearing the politicians talk about this, that, or something else, if they see you doing that, they're going to be attacking you, just like they did with, not everyone, but a lot, just like they did with the COVID and the mask. They heard it on the TV, you're all going to die if you don't wear your mask, got to do it, got to work it together. We're all in this together, got to protect your community, protect your neighbors, put on your mask. And there was people attacked by those people who are watching that media all the time. They were attacked for not having their mask on. Lots and lots of things like that happened during that time because people were horrified. People were actually afraid because they believed the narrative. They don't think that politicians, they don't think that the media, the mainstream media, whatever lies to them, it's all science, it's all fact. They will use weather manipulation, weather warfare, HARP, to manipulate the weather. We already saw this, I think, with the major drought out west. It's been based on climate change, wildfires. Very easy to do, weather warfare. There's going to be all kinds of drought in the United States, I think. Like we already had out west. It may be here where I am also. But there's going to be lots of wildfires. There's going to be extreme weather events. And they're going to say it's climate change. It's global warming. We have to stop everything and do it right now. We have to ban automobiles. We have to ban gas stoves, completely off of fossil fuels. Locked down, tied down, whacked and stacked, what we're going to be. And they will use that in the media, the politicians, and people will see this and say, my God, this has to be true. We've had, if you look at the smoke everywhere, drought, wildfires, tornadoes, all kinds of things they will blame on. Severe storms, severe lightning, high winds, extreme heat, extreme cold, flooding. And they're going to say, this is the result of man-made climate change and global warming. We have to take full power, full control over everything, or we're all going to die. And they will push that narrative, and the leaders around the world and a lot of the people around the world will say, yeah, we got to do something. We've got to sacrifice for our neighbors. We've got to sacrifice for our families because the world's going to end. It's obvious right here. Look what's happening right now. The world is on fire. Look at all the drought and the heat waves and things. The wildfires, the tornadoes, the extreme weather events. It's going to be blamed on man-made climate change. So that's the next part of the plan, in my opinion, is to use the science, to use weather warfare, weather manipulation to gain support and for an excuse to declare a climate emergency and to take full, total control over everyone's property, everything that we do, everything, including control of the food, financial system. Everything is going to be based on this climate science. It's obvious. That's what's coming, guys. It's very, very difficult to prepare for these things like this because, like I said, it's going to be permanent. It's not going to be like COVID and be for 2.5, 3 years, and then you have to end it. It's going to be a permanent thing. This is their end game, to declare a climate emergency because we're all going to melt down We got to give these authorities, these scientists, these people who want to control full power over everything, because we know we're all going to die. And like I said, a lot of people will be all for this as long as they can keep them fed through their crickets and their factories with their fake meat. As long as they keep people fed and alive with fake food, fake meat, there'll be more than likely another pandemic virus that's going to come out. There'll be another injection for that, and I think it's going to be this. It's going to be worse than the last one, because this is the end game. They want to lower the population down. They come out in all their literature. I mean, they came out in all their literature and told us they want to lower the population. They want a full one world government. They want to control the birth rate. They want to control your property. They want to control your life. They want to control everything. They want to own everything around us, and including us. And it's going to be done, like I said, through the climate emergency. I mean, it's obvious what they're planning on doing. Anyway, what you think in the comments below? Do you agree, disagree? If you disagree, let me know why. Don't just say you're stupid, you're a redneck hick, you don't know what you're talking about. There is a climate emergency. I'm talking about man-made climate change here. There is climate change. Climate change does happen, but the thing is, what we're talking about here is man-made climate change that man can do something about and actually change and reverse. That's what we're talking about here. So let me know your opinion in the comments below. If you disagree, like I said, let me know why. If you do agree, give it a big thumbs up, and also comment below. Thanks for watching. I'm Creekmore out here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.